Hey guys, Mike here, back for another video. This time it's on Mark Plummer's recent video called The Most Pointless Steroid Cycle You Could Do. And I've got a few things to say about it. If you've not heard of Mark Plummer, he's very entertaining. He's got some really good information. He's very strong. He's got some records in powerlifting, I believe. And he's got some really good information. He spits the truth. He tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, which is quite rare these days. So if you've not heard about him, if you've not seen any of his videos, you should check him out. But let's get right into the video.
The most pointless testosterone dose that you could ever do for a cycle is 200 milligrams to 299 milligrams of testosterone. And I'm gonna give you several reasons of why. Let's break down an average TRT dose for testosterone. A average TRT dose is anywhere from 125 milligrams of testosterone all the way to, you could argue, 199 milligrams. But 199 milligrams or 200 milligrams is still gonna put you over the natural range of testosterone. For sake of argument, let's say it's 125.
Well, yeah, that's true, but a proper testosterone replacement dosage should be from 100 milligrams to 150 milligrams. If it's highly unlikely that you were producing more than 150 milligram equivalent of testosterone, even as a teenager. So if you're getting more than 150 milligrams TRT dose, then yeah, it's not really replacing your natural testosterone. It's more enhancing your testosterone production better than it ever would have been naturally.
5 to 170 milligrams. So yes, you gym bro that's TRTing at 250 milligrams of testosterone, you're fucking ridiculous. You're losing your fucking mind and you're absolutely fucking all your results up, I promise you. But let's go on to the other side of things. A blast should be anywhere from 350 milligrams of testosterone all the way to 500 milligrams. Now, 500 milligrams is going to be if you are competing in bodybuilding. I think 500 milligrams is the end-all be-all for testosterone. You don't really need to go higher. You don't really need to go lower. 500.
I think it depends on how you design your cycle, really. If you're taking other compounds that you are using more for their anabolic effects, then you could go a lot lower on your testosterone. When I used to cycle, which is quite a few months ago now, I haven't done a cycle in quite a while, but I used to keep my testosterone at about 200 milligrams a week. And that was purely just to keep me feeling good on cycle. And yeah, it wasn't really for any extra gains. I would keep that small testosterone dose there as a sort of TRT dose just to keep me feeling good, and I would use other anabolics to grow the muscle. I was not using testosterone to grow the muscle, but if he was using that as his main compound, then 500 milligrams, yeah, it's a good dose.
Is going to be your best ratio for growth as well as minimal side effects and getting the most out of every single cycle. Now, obviously, when you add in different compounds, that kind of changes, but we're talking for a general rule of thumb. But let's get into you, bro. Let's get into your first steroid cycle or your second or your third or your first testosterone cycle. Why am I telling you that doing 200 to 300 milligrams is 100% pointless? Why? Let's use the example of doing a blast at 250 milligrams of testosterone or 350 milligrams of testosterone. Now, 250 milligrams will completely shut down your testosterone. 350 will also completely shut down your testosterone.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if completely shut down is the right phrasing to use, because it depends on your cycle length. Yeah, it depends on the cycle length, really. I mean, if you're using 250 milligrams of testosterone for just 4 weeks, then it's not going to completely shut your testosterone down. You're going to still be producing some testosterone by the time you come off. But if you're doing a 12-week cycle on 250 milligrams, then yeah, you're pretty much going to shut yourself down. So it does depend on the length of your cycle. I mean, if you run 250 milligrams for 4 months, and you run a gram of testosterone for 4 months, yeah, there's really not a lot of difference. You're still going to get equally shut down.
testosterone. The estrogenic side effects off 250 milligrams of testosterone will be the same as 350 milligrams of testosterone. 250 milligrams of testosterone will put you just over your natural range, where
I don't agree with that. It depends entirely on your genetic makeup and how sensitive you are to estrogen and the level of aromatase activity that you have in your body, because everyone's different. Some people can get high estrogen and gyno symptoms off just a TRT dose, 150 milligrams or 200 milligrams of test. So if you're extremely sensitive to estrogen and that's just your genetic makeup, then there can be a big difference between 250 to 300 milligrams of test. That could be the difference between you growing tits or not. So yeah, it all depends on your genetics when it comes to estrogen and side effects.
350 milligrams of testosterone will actually put you into a super physiological dose of growth and testosterone. Do you understand what I'm saying here, bro? Is why would you risk shutting your testosterone down to get a hair over your natural limit? You've sat at home, you've been laying in bed, you've decided you want to take steroids. Why are you going to take steroids, risk the side effects to get a tiny little bit more than you would naturally?
If you're taking 350 milligrams of test, then that can be 2.5 to 3 times of your natural testosterone production. So saying you're not going to get any more gains really it's not really true, because if you could take a test booster that gave you 2 or 3 times the amount of testosterone you've got, you would be taking it and you would be seeing some improvements. And you've got to think about SARMs. Some people do SARMs for the first cycle because they just want something mild and they don't need crazy gains for the first cycle. And taking a moderate SARM cycle is going to be probably roughly equivalent to taking a low dose testosterone cycle, like 300 milligrams. So saying it's not worth doing I don't agree with it, because taking something that's going to give you more gains than you would have otherwise had with quite low side effects, because you're taking a low dose of testosterone, so you're not going to get crazy side effects. There is a reason to do it. If you just want to dip your toe in the water and see how you react to things and see if you can get any more gains from it, yeah, I think it is worth doing.
If you were going to take steroids, make it worth it. And I'm not saying that 350 milligrams is gonna blow you up like fucking Big Ramy. At least it's gonna put you into the range of testosterone where you are going to optimize your insulin sensitivity. You're going to optimize your protein synthesis. You're gonna optimize your recovery, your strength, your growth. You are not gonna get that type of growth by just having a hair over your natural testosterone limit. But
he's saying 350 is okay, but if you do 250, then there's no point. But that's only 100 milligrams more. So how can there be no point to 250, but then there is a point to 350? When 250 is still probably double your testosterone, your natural testosterone level. So it's, yeah, if you're going from double your natural testosterone level to 2 and a bit times or 3 times, yeah, you're going to see gains with both of those. So it's not like you have to go 200 milligrams more than your natural testosterone and 100 milligrams more is not going to do anything, because I don't think it's just not true.
let's throw all that aside, because what the fuck, that makes complete sense, right? I know it does. The PCT between 250 milligrams of testosterone and 350 milligrams of testosterone are the exact same, bro. You're still gonna take HCG, you're still gonna take Novadex. There's gonna be no difference. And I guarantee you, your hormones are gonna come back just as fast from 250 to 350. So there is no reason that...
Yeah, it's true. It's not gonna affect your PCT at all, really. Yeah, the amount of testosterone you use, as long as you're not using mental doses, then there's not going to be a huge difference between 250 or 500 in recovery.
That you should do anything between 200 and 300 milligrams of testosterone, because not only are you just wasting your time, but again, you are putting your body under the stress of anabolic steroids for minimal fucking gains. You gym bros that are TRTing at 250 and then blasting at 500, you just don't have a big enough ratio to give yourself that type of growth. You're just exhausting your body 24/7 and you're never gonna grow to your full potential.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. If you're doing the blast and cruise method, which I've done for quite a while, you need to keep your cruise dose of test as low as you can keep it. So 150 milligrams TRT dose as your cruise dose is what I recommend if you're doing the blast and cruise method. If you're cruising on 250 milligrams, then it's not really a cruise unless you're absolutely huge and you've got lots and lots of muscle mass. Then maybe you need 250 milligrams to keep your muscle mass and stop you shrinking when you're not blasting. But for the vast majority of you out there, that's not going to be an issue. Unless you're a pro bodybuilder, that's not going to be a problem for you. You can maintain your muscle in between cycles on 150 to 200 milligrams of test, as long as your diet and training are kept in check.
If you're blasting at 500 and you're TRTing at 145 or 150, when you have that fluctuation of going from 150 to 500, bro, you're gonna explode. But when you do that fluctuation from 250 to 500, you're gonna get a little bit better. You guys see those guys that are always running steroids in the gym, and no matter what they do, they look the same every single year? You've seen them for the last 7 years, and you're like, bro, this guy has not got any bigger or any leaner for the last 7 fucking years. It's because they're TRTing at 250, blasting at 500, and never getting any fucking better. So no matter if you're TRTing or it's your first cycle, there is no reason to be running 200 to 300 milligrams of testosterone, and those are the facts. But the biggest thing that I'm trying to do is just educate the younger group here that it is not worth it to do a steroid cycle between 200 and 300 milligrams. There will not be a point, there has not been a point, and there will never be a point to have this type of cycle in your regime ever. We are about to head off to the gym. I'm going to take you guys through a leg day. So if you guys like seeing...
So there you go. That was a video. There's a lot of things I agree with him there on, and some things I don't agree with him on. I think a low dose of testosterone is quite a good idea for a first cycle. I would much rather see someone do a low dose test cycle than jump on SARMs, where you really don't have any idea what the side effects are going to be. Long term at least, because there's been no long-term studies done on any SARM. Whereas with testosterone, your body produces it naturally. It's been producing it all your life. It knows what to do with it. It's not going to cause any weird side effects 20 years down the line. So you can be pretty confident that you're not going to have any odd reactions to testosterone, other than maybe gyno and androgenic side effects, which, you know, they're quite predictable. It's not cancer. It's not going to make you grow a tumour on the side of your head or something, which you don't really know if it's going to happen with SARMs or not, because there's just not the research there. I would say for your first cycle, a low dose testosterone cycle is a good idea. You're not going to keep making gains if you're just keeping your testosterone that low and not adding in any other compounds. You are going to need to up your dose for your probably third cycle and onwards, or adding some more compounds. But for your first couple of cycles, I think a low dose of testosterone, like 250, 300 milligrams, could be worth doing if you are worried about side effects and you just want to see how you react. So that's the video. I hope you all got something from it. Like, comment, subscribe, as always, and I will see you next time.